Jane Teresa Shaw, nee Kearns. I was born on the 30th of September 1976 at Whipps Cross Hospital. I have been married before, as you know. I've got my 2 girls, 2 marriages, 2 divorces, unfortunately, so hopefully this one will work out, but you never know.
My name is Tracey Ann Ferriello. I was born in April 1961 at the Royal Free Hospital, Liverpool Road, the Angel, Islington. My hobbies are drama, theatre, reading, walking, travel, swimming in the sea and badminton.
So my name's Tracey, I'm 43, I'm married, I've got 2 children. I live in Romford. I was born in the very hot summer of 1976 in Harewood Hospital. I hate fitness and I can be quite loud and talk too much, but actually really I'm painfully shy, and even this is my worst nightmare.
Hi, I'm Sharon Marie Randall. I was born at Rush Green Hospital, which was in the district of Barking and Dagenham at the time, on the 2nd of May 1975. Same day and year as David Beckham, incidentally. I currently work for a company in the aerospace industry doing stuff for the MOD.
My name is Sharon Tracey Sims. I was born in 1965 in Old Church Hospital, Romford in Essex. I lived in Romford for 25 years before moving a whole 2 miles away to Collier Row.
Regarding Sharon's and Tracey's, immediately Birds of a Feather springs to mind. Always remember those 2 characters.
Tracey and Sharon from Birds of a Feather.
Tracey and Sharon from Birds of a Feather.
Sharon and Tracey from Birds of a Feather. Sharon Osborne, Tracey Ullman, Tracey Emin, Tracey Chapman, Tracey Austin.
The whole Thunderbird family. If surnames can be included, then Spencer Tracey, Dick Tracey,
Tracey Ullman, Tracey Emin, Tracey Beaker, and Sharon's, I can only think of one, and that was the infamous Sharon Stone.
Sharon from EastEnders, there's a classic. Sharon Davis, the swimmer. There's a mix of Sharon and Tracey's for you.
I did have a friend, Tracey, and of course we were both exactly the same age. I was 11 days older than her, and so we were jibed all the time about being Sharon and Tracey. Constantly got questions like, where's Wayne and Kevin?
Less inclined towards personal achievements. Ironic really, because I remember reading that Chelmsford High School for Girls is frequently rated among the most consistently high achieving schools in the UK.
There is the stereotype there of expecting you to be ditzy, blonde, a bit dim, always super tan, dolled up to the nines, a bit of a party girl. But I think that's just something that people clutch onto. In reality, I'm not sure people really expect you to be like that.
Probably talk like this from Essex. I'm from Essex. I'm called Tracey, Sharon.
Well, in the 80s, it was someone who had blonde highlighted hair, wore white stilettos, drove a Ford Escort and went to Tots in Southend or Duke's in Chelmsford. And that was me. I had all those things and did all those things. I still have blonde highlighted hair, but the blonde is actually highlighted with grey now.
I mean, it is every second girl's name from the 70s, in all honesty, but I don't see why we are labelled, but unfortunately, even still today, we are. It's just that typical Essex stereotype, and I'm not one of those, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I'm not your archetypal, if you like, dyed blonde hair and miniskirts and stilettos, which and still to this day, I still get that. Have you got any white stilettos? It gets boring.
Fair few people have passed comment on my name, and generally they all seem to sort of like go in the same direction, which is like, oh, you don't really fit the stereotype of a Sharon from Essex, do you? Which in a way I take as a compliment, really.
Sometimes when I tell people my name in a usually work environment, I say Tracey, and then I'll say a good old-fashioned Essex name. When really I don't need to, so probably got a bit of a chip on my shoulder about being a Tracey.
In fact, I often tell people my middle name as an icebreaker when we first meet. People of a certain age do get the joke and actually find it very amusing.
I once wrote to the Daily Mail in reply to an article by the late journalist and writer Keith Waterhouse, using the names in a particularly nasty and sarcastic way. I was fuming.
I did train to be a midwife. Unfortunately, I chose to do it after I'd had my kids, and it got the better of me. I couldn't cope with the full-time work, the degree and the 2 children, and they came first. So, unfortunately, almost 8 months before I was due to qualify, I did pull out of the course, purely due to the fact that I didn't have any time for them, and they were my main thing. So I'm proud of what I did. I did all my deliveries. I can deliver a baby, I can take care of a baby, I can do antenatal checks. I remember everything as I did back then when I did my training, but it was the right thing to do.
Other than obtaining my sport diver qualification for scuba diving, in 2004 I collected my Bachelor of Arts degree at the Royal Festival Hall in London, obtained via the Open University.
Passing my CBT so that I can have a scooter to get to and from work, and I use it a lot for social. That was pretty good for me. It seemed quite exciting, probably like not that exciting to compare to some people's idea of what's great, but yeah, it really made a difference to my life.
Work-wise, I think it was the year I did very well, and I ended up going on a recognition event to Milan. But I think overall, if you had to really pin me down, I'd say it was giving birth to 2 beautiful daughters who've turned out to be independent and intelligent and just lovely ladies. Sorry, that sounds a bit cheesy.
Actually, these are very strange times, and I would say the thing that I'm most proud of is that last week I went 3 days without a glass of wine, and it honestly, it felt like a massive achievement. I'd conquered the world.
I've never really thought the name suited me, but then I think a lot of people think like that about their own names, so yeah, it's okay really.
I used to actually quite like my name. I thought it was quite pretty, but I was really upset when all the stigma started being associated with it, and I don't like it as much as I did.
I do still sort of think that my parents were maybe half cut when they named me. I was going to be Terry, short for Teresa, who was the landlady of my dad's favourite pub. They really did clown around. Not only did they give me the most common first name, they then put Maureen and Teresa in the middle. I don't think your name really defines you.
Not really, to be fair. I'm a very working class girl from a working class family, dragged up in a council house in Collier Row. Aspire to be more, I suppose. Aspire to be more than a Tracey from Essex.
It does give away my age to a degree. I mean, there's not many babies that are born nowadays that are blessed with the name Sharon, let alone Sharon Tracey. I try to drop my middle name as much as possible nowadays. If I have to give my middle name over the phone, I'll try and make a bit of a joke of it. If I'm talking to someone younger, they actually don't get the joke. They don't realise the stigma that Sharon and Tracey's had in the 1980s.